Oh dog, oh dog. Oh dog, oh dog. Oh dog, oh dog. Oh dog, oh dog. Get up that hill. Get up that hill. In the morning light. Get up that hill. Whoa, boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Oh dog, oh dog. How you going, brothers? It's late in the evening. Out here on the balcony where I used to hang out with my old dog Bruno. I lost Bruno a couple of months ago now. And 12 years of having that dog. Big loss. Living alone. Being alone. I never felt so not alone having that old dog around. He was my mate. He was always there on the veranda, right in his box, always putting his big old head into me. We had a really cool camp. We were on the road for 4 or 5 days with a big old trailer he towed behind him that I slept in, and we went up the Motueka River, up the valley, and man, it was awesome. I snuck a 22 in the floorboards and I took a rod, caught trout, shot a hare and ate that, foraged for mushrooms. And Bruno, I took a bit of dog roll for him, but that was a really good trip, and I knew it was going to be the last adventure for us. It was a neat dog. See, dogs, they love you unconditionally. They don't put any clause in the agreement of you being mates. They just, hands down, they're your mate, they're there for you. If you can't even afford to feed them, they don't abandon you. They're not with you to get something. They're with you because they just love you. Every part of the day, their day is revolved around when's the boss coming home. They never take their eyes off you. This is why it's really important if you're a dog owner to give your dog time. My dogs get 3 walks a day, but they haven't recently because I've been a bit crook. But I'm back on my game now. Today we had 3 walks and it felt really good. And I had Poe. I had her on the veranda where Bruno used to be. And it was good to see her out there, the old girl. She sort of earned that place in the pack. I'll retire from hunting soon, probably. She's been an epic hunting dog. She's caught so many pigs. Years ago, when I first got on her first boar, she got ripped to shreds, literally. She was hunting with an old dog called Jim. And for 18 months after that, she wouldn't go near a boar. But she came around and then she just wanted to catch every boar there was, and she became a good pig dog. Of course, we always think our main dog is a fantastic dog and there's never another dog like it, but just like people, there's good in each field, and it all depends on your relationship with it. And to how I looked at that dog, I just loved her, and she couldn't go wrong even if she missed a pig. There was always a legitimate reason, I was sure. I was always very patient with her, and I still am very patient with her. And my other dogs. I can't say I've always been a patient man, but these days I'm patient with animals because just like us, they have bad days. And you should remember that when you're out hunting your dog and it makes a mistake. Remind yourself that you also have bad days. And the thing is, if you have a bad day, your dog doesn't give a shit. If you stuff up and lose an animal, it doesn't care. It doesn't love you any less, and it doesn't base its friendship with you upon how well you perform all the time. If you're having a shit time, and I've had a shit 3, 4, 5 weeks now, my dogs wag their tail just as much when they see me, and I'm not firing on all cylinders. That's what real love is, and that's what we really need to do with the people around us that we say that we love. Put no conditions upon them, and understand that they're not stupid. They just may be either hurt or damaged in some way, and sometimes that hurt and damage comes through. So next time you're ready to jump down someone's throat at doing something silly like not giving way to you or stuffing up in some way, just stop and think. You don't know what pain they're carrying. You don't know what suffering's going on in their life. You don't know what news they've just got. They could have just heard their partner's got cancer, or they could have just been told themselves they've got 3 months to live. You just don't know. You can learn a lot from dogs. Dogs are pack creatures too, of course. Their DNA is from their nose to their bum hole. What goes on the inside of them is 0.2% different from a wolf, so virtually the same. There's a few diseases that domestic dogs get that that wolves don't get. Cruciate ligament disease, wolves don't get that. Any of the ones that ever did, they wouldn't survive about a hunt, and they would naturally die out, and they would not go on to breed, so they naturally fall out of the equation. And man has played around with the genetics of dogs hugely, but all dogs come from wolves originally. Now people are kind of like dogs in one way, but they're not. There's some similar things, or I should say dogs are like us. They've learnt to mimic us, and there's certain things they've learnt to do to get our attention, and they've found that it works, and so their thinking is a lot closer to us. Some people just love cats. Cats really don't give a bollocks what you do. They'll leave you in a heartbeat if the lady next door's feeding better cream and better cat food. They're not loyal like a dog. They don't really care about you, and they're a great creature to have as a pet. You put a cat on your lap. I used to have one called Drever, and I had it for the whole winter. It'd be on my lap, sitting there, and I'm not a cat person, but I got this cat from my mate Stu Drever and called it Drever. And that winter I did all my editing. That cat sat there purring, and what I found was it really calmed me. It really made me feel chill out. And I learned later that they create oxytocin, which is a feel-good sort of a chemical. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? People with cats actually live longer than people who have no pets at all. In fact, people with dogs do too, as pets going on. So that oxytocin, that thing going on, is actually really good for us. Oh, that's interesting. Anyway, Drever got killed by Bob, one of my hunting dogs, and Bob came unstuck on a boar. That was the end of him. Yeah, with his livestock, there's dead stock. With his pets, there's dead pets. And with his people you love, there's people you lose through death. It's the nature of everything. So I'm out here on the veranda, and I was just playing my harmonica, and I thought, well, I'll make a little vlog for the Brochick channel, just a chilled out one in the evening, because it's a nice place to talk and just be transparent and open and speak to you guys freely about things. And it appeared to me, I realised how much time has gone by in my life so quickly. I'm close to 60 now, and I thought, well, when you're having a lot of fun, time just flies, doesn't it? And I've had a lot of fun in this life. My life has gone so fast, and I would say to my younger self, don't try and be happy. If I could go back, don't try to be happy, try and be content. I'd say to my younger self, think about others more than yourself. That will bring you a truer, deeper, meaningful life and make you more happy, and it will take you away from yourself, because when I was younger I was too lost inside myself, and that was a futile place to be. The most happiest I've been is when I've been giving something to somebody else, or helping somebody else, or seeing someone else achieve something through my mentoring or teaching. That's given me the most joy. And the most miserable I've been in my life is when I've been stuck inside my own head, being frustrated with my own inadequacy, or frustrated with my own lack of. And that served no purpose to me. What you need to do, this is my spin, and it's only my spin, it's not necessarily correct, but what you need to do is you need to be content, not happy. Content with what you've got. Meaning is what you give your life by finding what your joy is, what it is that sparks your joy, that fires your joy up every day. There's a young fella I used to look after called Smash. I started looking after him when he was 13 years of age, and he said to me, Clay, my mum's following this new lady now, and she talks about what sparks your joy. And I said, that's cool. I said, what sparks your joy, Smash? And he said to me, going hunting with you. Man, that young fella and me, I got him his first pig. I got him his first deer. Oh, we had some good times. I taught him how to clean an animal out, how to carry it the right way, how to set it up. I taught him how to hunt. Taught him how to butcher an animal, how to break it down. He was a strong kid, man. At the age of 16, he could carry a 200-pound stag, no trouble. At the age of 17, he carried a 265-pound one. I've got it on my phone. It's the last video I've got to Smash. And He was a really happy man when he was hunting. I said humping. I'm sure he was happy when he was doing that too. Humping the animal out of the bush. I don't know what you thought. Yeah, he was a good guy for a number of things. He cared about other people, and he looked after other people, and he helped other people. But he also struggled, as a lot of us struggle with things. Now, one of the things I'd say to you if you are struggling is to just put that aside for a minute and make yourself busy with something that's going to bring you closer to finding something that's going to spark your joy, that's going to make you more happy. Even if you can't get there straight away. Say you want to be a musician and play music, but you don't even know how to play guitar. If you're in a bad space and that's something in your mind, go now, get yourself online, get a cheap guitar, sit down and learn to play the A chord. Just do something. Just do something. It's an old saying, happy is the man building a boat. I can remember my dad, he's built lots of boats, and he'd always whistle when he's working. He's a shit whistler. Absolutely. But he would whistle away when he was designing or building a boat. He built the houseboat I've got here. He built me a boat when I was 5 years of age. And that's when he was his happiest, when Dad was creating. I don't think he ever spent a lot of time actually being on the boats he built. It was the actual making of them. A bit like a kid building a tree hut. Kids are happy building a tree hut, but when it's built, how much time do they really spend in it? The first day they go up there and they have a lunch in it and they're all excited, and their mum looks them up there and brings them out some scones or some cakes, and they sit up there and they eat it in their tree hut. And that lasts about a day, and the next day the tree hut sits there and eventually bits of wood fall off it. They never go really up in it again and spend a night in it all the time. They might once or twice, but it doesn't really get a lot of use because the real joy was creating it. And that's where you will find a lot of joy in things in life, is being creative. So get your creative juices going, and don't let anybody tell you that you're not creative. Often we get knocked when we're kids. You draw a picture of something and, oh, that's rubbish, or someone says something and you think, oh, I can't do it. Don't listen to that. That's only their version of what's good and what's not. Art is as controversial as music. Some people like Guns N' Roses, some people can't stand Guns N' Roses. Some people are die-hard fans for Michael Jackson or Justin Bieber, and other people can't stand Justin Bieber. I don't listen to Justin Bieber. Some people are country fans and some are blues fans. Some are jazz, some are hard rock, some are into death metal. Who's to say what's good and what's not? Rap's been going on for years. A lot of my generation are not really into it, and yet I know people that are my age that just listen to rap and nothing else. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter. So when someone tells you that that's not good, that's bullshit. That's only not good to them. It may be wonderful to somebody else. Let's face it, I'm not the best singer in the world. I'm not the best musician or best harmonica player. I'm pretty bloody average, but I've made a whole life out of it. Played in Europe 3,159 concerts because I believed in myself and didn't care what other people said. I used to get all sorts of horrible things said to be about my music. Hell, I can understand why when I hear some of the stuff I've made, but I never ever took it on as a personal insult or that I wasn't good enough, because I always knew that if I was trying my best and if it was bringing someone happiness, then it was a worthwhile crusade to be on, a worthwhile mission to be on, a worthwhile adventure to partake in, a worthwhile thing to create, to do. This thing here, I travel around the world with this harmonica. Well, not this one, but a harmonica. And wherever I go, I could set down a rhythm. That would make someone tap their toe. That's already a win-win situation. I had a seed planted when I was very, very young. My first actual gig was at Nurse Maud Hospital. It was a rest home for the elderly in Christchurch. And I was playing all the old songs. And 1,000 other old songs way down the Swanee River when the Saints go marching. And I play all those really old songs because those old people grew up with them, and that took them back to their youth. And that's where old people go, the nostalgia. And I noticed all these old people start to come alive and smile. An old man nodding his head, an old lady clapping her hands, smiling at me with these old faces. And I was just a kid. This makes people happy. And then I fell in love with a girl next door, and I thought if I could play the harmonica, I could win her heart. I never did, but I gave it a good budge. I even learnt the harmonica and the ukulele, and learnt to play them both at the same time to impress her. She still said I was a wanker. Finally, I bought a car. I took her for a ride in that. Nah, I was never going to win her. She just didn't like me. And fair enough, too. She was out of my league. I wasn't good looking enough, or strong enough, or tall enough, or anything enough for her. That's the trouble when you're young. You aim so high, and you don't realise that you're not that fantastic. You think you're great, but actually turns out you're not. Turns out that you're pretty bloody average, so you lose a bit of confidence, or I did. I wasn't too cocky. And then you realise, well, as pretty as she is, I'm not qualified, I'm not going to get there, and you. Well, that's what happened to me. Funny thing is, I went to Europe feeling like I wasn't qualified to have a gorgeous girl or anything, and didn't really have I had a pretty low self-esteem. I was, I didn't have a high self-esteem. I thought I was pretty shit. I didn't think I was that cool, and went to Europe and started playing music, and suddenly all these women really liked me. It was like, hold on a minute, you like me? And man, I made an absolute pig of myself. I caught up on all those years I didn't have girlfriends and that I was a bit of a freak, and then I went the other way. I became a womanizer, and geez, I'm not proud of that either. Eventually I came back to New Zealand and pulled my head in. Took a long time. Kids will do that to you. They'll make you sort your shit out. Came back here and settled down. Didn't really settle down because I never got married, but could never really see the point in that. I don't really understand marriage. There's no guarantee for anything. My parents did it, and they broke up when I was 10. It's funny, the things that happen to us in our childhood that leave that mark on us for our life, and we then decide what's good and what's not. We choose our own path from what we've seen and what we've learned around us. Anyway, point being in this video is it's really important, if you're in a bad place, if you're going through a tough time, to busy yourself with something that's going to draw you closer to the thing that is going to spark your joy, that is going to make you happy. Get out and start moving and start doing. Don't try and solve it inside your head, because you never will. You're never ever going to be able to fix all the problems inside your head, because they're going on in your subconscious mind. The best you can do is just keep yourself active. And this thing is an amazing thing, this bit of jelly between your ears. You can get so much, you can create so much, you can have so much, you can bliss out. You don't need to take drugs. You've got all the drugs within your whole body if you can draw on them, just by doing the right things that make you happy. I caught a kingfish this year in my kayak, and the adrenaline from that and the buzz from that, for a week I was high. I mean, that's just me. I love fishing. The same thing applies to hunting too. For you, it might be something completely different. It could be that you create something. Or it could be that you achieve a goal that you've been trying to achieve. It could simply be that you with someone you love, and you sit down and have a good talk, a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, and good talk, and connect up and feel like you've been heard and feel like you've listened to somebody. It could be something as simple as that. I guarantee it won't be anything that requires a huge amount of money. Now, a lot of people work their whole lives and really work themselves hard because they think all that money is going to give them something that's going to be good. But all it does is clutter your life, and at the end of your life, you've got a whole lot of shit that when you die, your children got to sort it out. So be minimalistic and don't try to accumulate too much. I've done that. I've got a shed full of shit there that I've got to sort out. And recently I've been literally taking truckloads of rubbish to the tip. I wouldn't say I'm a hoarder, but I've accumulated a lot of stuff, and I'm really now enjoying getting things less and less and less, making space. Today my son and I made this garden here. That was an awesome space. It's clear. I've still got a lot of clutter. Part of my own makeup for me is I'm a messy bastard, because I'm always like creating something in my head, whether it's a video or a song or a story or something, that I don't see the clutter around me, and it goes by the wayside and I don't even notice it. And if somebody brings it to my attention, I go, oh, yeah, that is messy. Yeah. Oh, right. Now, what was I thinking? Oh, that's right. That hook line, that song's going to go like this. And I completely forget about it and I'm back in that. And a lot of creative people are like that. We're all different. So if someone's messy and it pisses you off, just understand there's probably something else going on in their mind that's not going on in yours. And if you really like something about somebody, that's the reverse. There's something about them that you're connecting up with. It's actually something in yourself that you might really feel good about yourself. It's funny, isn't it, how sometimes we can find ourselves doing things that our parents have done, and we go, oh, geez, that's what my mum used to say, or my dad used to say. Or worse still, somebody will say to you, geez, you're like your father when you do that. And you go, no, I'm not. They go, you are. And you don't see it. Or, gee, you're like your mother. Don't you say that about me. She gets all angry. Some woman, she's just like her mother. She can't see it. It's because it's been programmed into us, into our subconscious when we're tiny. And we do these things that our parents do without even realising it. Anyway, yeah, I've probably talked too much, and I'm just sitting out here chilling in the evening. If you don't have a television and you entertain yourself with music in the evening, it's a good thing. You go out there and you can just like talk openly and share and bounce things off your brothers like I'm bouncing off you guys. Thanks for joining the Bro Check channel, guys. And thanks for subscribing to it and being a subscriber. I can tell how long you've been subscribed because as the person that created the channel, it shows, Colin Price has been subscribed for 5 months, or Salwin's been subscribed for a year, and it tells me each time. And some of you have been here from the beginning. And this channel's growing very small, but it's not about the growth. It's about you guys and me being able to take what you've got to say in a video and post it up here as well, because I've got videos on here that some of you have made. Pedro's made one, Salwin's made one. Oh look, there's too many names to go through. Made one, Crispy's made one. It goes on and on and on. There's so many of you that have made videos. So it's a community channel, and amongst ourselves we can talk openly without fear of being judged or anything. We don't have to prove anything. We can just be ourselves, and that's the cool thing. So it won't grow that big. It's never going to be a big channel because it's not the sort of rubbish that people to try clickbait. It's just you talking or me talking. Go steady. Check on a brother and check on yourself to make sure that you are doing the things that are eventually going to spark your joy and make you more content in this life. Way down in the country, about the evening time, like to sit out on the veranda and unwind. Well, underneath the moonlight, later in the day, sitting down, lay down some tunes. This is what I say. In the country, in the country, in the country, in the country, in the countryside. See you later.